Happy New Year.
A
We
million New
made it.
Year.
It's a 2025.
It's already starting off shitty.
It's
This guy.
Man,
Can
we get through the first 24 hours? Can we do that?
No, apparently we can't because people want a zero blitz on 4th and 13 when you have.
Man.
Yeah, no, I'm not happy at all.
Wow.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Way to kick things off.
Yeah, I will say that me and the rest of Broncos Nation is very disappointed in our young lads.
Oh, man.
I mean, at least you're not getting over.
Listen, I'm not even a Sun Devil. I don't care about Arizona State. The only thing I wanted out of this playoff is to see Texas go home. And they were done.
I know.
They were done. They were done.
Boy.
4th and 13.
Their kicker,
Yeah,
the kicker tried as hard as he could. He tried.
He did.
He really
He
tried.
He tried as hard as he could.
How? Listen, Arizona State played their asses off, and Cam Scatterboo's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How? You know your DBs aren't any good. So why is zero blitz on 4th and 13 the answer? Why? Like, that makes no sense to me. You had them. And I'm sorry, if that's not targeting, I've never seen targeting.
Listen, we're not even gonna as I said to you off the show, if you go back and watch the Cal Miami game, you know what targeting that is obviously targeting and doesn't get called looks like. This is just a repeat. So, but that's not. But look, I will say this: at least that's not why the game, like why they lost. I was gonna be mad. I was gonna be mad if they came down and kicked that field goal, and that's why they lost.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they got to settle it on the field and not play good defense on 4th and 3rd. So anyway, 2024 was amazing, Coach Chu.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are in 2025 already. Sheesh.
And I love the spelling of big league. That's really cool.
Ah, shit.
Oh boy.
We are kicking things off.
Yep. 25. Here we come. Hey, listen. Somebody pointed this out to me. 2025. If you look on the calendar, it starts with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is WTF. That's 25 is coming with the yeah. So everybody get their Mayweather on and be ready.
Oh God, that's horrible.
We need to add that to the dictionary.
Right.
There we go.
That was spectacular.
Oh man, I barely even made it through the 12 o'clock last night, so I don't have an excuse.
All right, I gotta air her out real quick.
Oh boy. We
live in the Central Time Zone. This one tried to go to bed with the New York ball drop. Do I get close enough?
All right, that's my time.
It's been nice. Oh man, I was trying to get a jump start on the year. That's all.
You know, the 12-year-olds in the back like da. He was trying to stay up to the Pacific 12 o'clock.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Negative. Anyhow, so we have wrapped up 2024. It's been a great one. There's been highs, there's been really highs. There's been some lows, but I would say they are definitely outnumbered by the highs and the highs. So we just wanted to take this week and kind of reflect in our own 4 ways. So in Governor's great ask of a year-end review, the magic ball said to have each tile ask a year in review question. So that is what we shall do. So let's let Clyde ask first if he's ready.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I thought I'd try.
I'm not remotely ready for that at this moment. You see, I'm the only one in transit right now.
I know, that's why I was get it out of the way.
Maybe you wanted to get it out of the way.
See, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Bronco Nation, are you ready with your
You know me.
self-deprecating part. So
I stay ready, so that's fine. I was going to ask a really, really simple one, which is, what's the best thing you saw athletically in 2024?
Wow. Scott Van Pelt-esque. Best thing I saw
Best thing I saw
in 2024.
Yeah.
Ooh wee.
It was like this
Now,
was I mean,
now,
every year seems busy,
now-
but this was a really busy year.
Absolutely.
okay, so wait, to help clarify,
Mm-hmm.
do you mean that literally or in general? Like that I saw with my
Eyeballs.
own eyes, or or does TV count?
I would prefer with your own eyeballs, but if you saw it on television and it's really good and you can justify it, we'll allow it.
Okay. I will aim for what I saw with my own eyes.
Big League, you go first.
So I think the best thing that I saw with my own eyes, I'm going to go broad, and I know you guys are making me go narrow. Broad is Olympic track and field. And even just the short. So I know, but hold on, that's the big one. So let me narrow the scope.
So,
to-
okay, in context, this is your first Olympics, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
That's
all
why
right,
that's
all
why I
right.
said that
So
statement
you
first.
breathed that air.
Exactly.
You were there.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
all
just
right.
watching the
Okay.
Leave it to the governor to try to save and elevate.
But it's,
Me,
I get it.
know.
I
Yeah.
get it.
We all have our roles on this show, Captain Petty.
But so to narrow the scope, I would say that the best thing I saw was the 100 meters, the fanfare before, and then the race. Like that was cool. Like them handing out the little bracelets, so everybody had the LED lights, the light show, the introductions. Like that was cool. That was cool to see in person.
Okay, so was it too long in your estimation? Were you thinking in terms of how long those kids had to be standing out there?
Exactly. So
Okay.
in meet, what's that called? Meet management, yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
In viewership, no.
All right. So it was really good as far as being a viewer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So wearing two different caps, yes.
And to be fair, KST, you've been in one of those finals, so you know they tell you it's going to be long before you walk out there.
Absolutely.
Like the rest of us don't know, but they all knew.
I mean, it's one of the unspoken truths. But between checking in and actually lining up, that is minimum going to be 40 to 45 minutes. Minimum. And yeah, but yeah, anyway.
What's funny about that's great because that's an inside
yes.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground
that a lot of people don't understand. But here's the funny part. If you go back and just watch the replay, they may have told them, but a few of the people in that field were clearly bothered.
Absolutely.
And in a race that was that close,
yep,
it might have made a difference.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's true.
Absolutely.
Because it's that focus, the concentration is fleeting. And if you're not one that can hold it together,
Or distribute it better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good one, True. Way to kick it off.
Will somebody call Oregon and tell them the game has started?
I had to say it because the Olympics. I had to say that part.
Oh man.
True, don't take any crap from him.
They scored again. It's 31-0.
That's what I just said. Could somebody call Oregon and tell them that the game has started?
Oh
man. Man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, in the same theme, I can't get this out of my head. I cannot get out of my head that anchor leg with Rye and Taboho. that race, you know, it's funny because the setup to that race basically said, whatever you assume is going to happen, just throw that out the window.
Yeah.
And I think everything we saw in the mixed relays, the 4x1, you know, men and women, the women's 4x4, I mean, okay, that was different. But as far as on the men's side, I think, you know, those of us that understand track and field knew that it was not going to be a simple, you know, here you go, just go ahead and take it. And I just remember when they both when their teammates handed off to them, and Rai took out, and Taboho tucks in right behind him. It was, to me, I mean, it's up there in one of the greatest anchor legs that I've ever seen in my life. In terms of how fast they ran, in terms of, you know, Taboho running as fast as he did, Rai running as fast as he did to hold him off. I mean, it had everything, you know, the theater, the pageantry, everything that you would expect in a 4x4 final. I think it was one of those things where you could say, yeah, 4x4 is back,
Oh,
because that was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
listen, on a global stage, you'd be hard pressed to tell me that something else was better than that.
Oh man.
Given the full context of
World Championships when Chris Akabusi ran down.
Yes.
No. Finish that thought, because I figured that was going to be one of the two. Finish that thought.
I can't think of his name. It rest his soul, which is wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So
the American anchor who was the 400-meter champion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what's wrong.
Angelo Taylor.
No. Before that wasn't Chris Akabusi. It's
This is in Tokyo.
Keep talking. I'll remember in a second. Give me a second.
No. Okay, you're talking about the Tokyo Olympics?
No,
Tokyo Worlds.
I'm talking about World.
Yeah, 91.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about 91 World Championships. Great Britain anchored the 400 hurdle champion.
Yes.
United States anchored the blowout 400-meter champion with a lead, and he got run down with 20 meters to go.
Right. That one, and when Angelo
Pettigrew.
Thank you. My God.
That one.
Bless his soul. God rest his soul.
That one, and when Angelo Taylor got put on anchor in 12, and the Bahamians ran him down. If you're a fan of rundowns, I figured those would be the two that people would throw. But here's the thing: in full context, I get why the rundown's spectacular, but neither one of those races got anything close to a world record.
Yeah.
Those, what, and who the hell thought Botswana could run that fast?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we're ready to run that fast at this point. Like, no.
I don't know though. Me and Chu saw them. Me and Chu saw them working out all week, and we were like, "Man, they are ready."
No, dude. This is my point. Given the team, given everything that happened with the American team, right? The 400-meter champion wasn't on the track. Michael Norman wasn't on the track.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I didn't imagine a world where Botswana could win. I didn't think it would be that fast.
Yeah, man.
When you see the race play out, you realize, like, yo, these motherfuckers was a tick away from the world record.
Yes, they were.
That's why I'm like, that's the best one ever.
Yeah, man.
Because it was competitive all the way through, and it damn near was the world record.
It damn near broke the world record, yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Michael Johnson world record, that one.
Side note, this Oregon-Ohio State game looks like the fight between Ivan Drago and Apollo Creed. And I'm waiting for somebody to throw a towel in. Oh, my God. Anyway, continue, KOP. What is the best thing you saw?
Well, if I want to keep it in the true spirit of the question, something in athletics that I witnessed with my own eyes.
Yes.
I would be remiss not to go super homer and shout out, my own men's 4x1 team this year.
Mm-hmm.
We ran 38.6 at the national championships with a group of people that no one knows,
Mm-hmm.
and took out Tommy Smith and the crew's SJSU all-time record. That was the best thing I witnessed, this year, in real life. Like that is a moment that I will always remember. It was the culmination of a lot of planning and nonsense and drama that went into that. And, that group of kids, and I do mean kids, you're talking about a freshman, 2 sophomores, and a super senior, that understood the mission and got the job done. And it was a full team effort. It took all 6 of them to land us there. It took contributions from me, from Tiana, from my entire staff. And, for young people to be in a moment like that and step forward and deliver on it is rare in our business. And it was special. And I loved every second of it. I mean, anyone who was in the warm-up area watching the other teams move around, you're like, ain't no way in hell. Like, that group doesn't belong back here.
Mm-hmm.
And they proved that they did. So if it's what I saw, that was by far the best thing I saw in real life this year.
And I would say, you usually being petty, that answer was not petty at all.
No.
I think that one was legit.
Absolutely legit.
I mean,
if you need a petty answer, I'll give you one.
No, we're good. We're good.
Because I thoroughly enjoyed Juju winning the women's 100-meter final.
Like I said, we're good. It's funny that you say that, because my answer, Juju winning the 100 is part of my answer. I don't think that Big League and I thought about it in the moment, because we were, like the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator at the Super Bowl, just trying to win the game. But when it was over, so like sitting in the stands watching the 1500, because we know what, like, the medals are, we're not concerned that we're not going to win a medal, and we're probably not going to win the silver. So we're just kind of like fans at that point. Being part of, and this is not hyperbole, because a lot of times things get said, especially around the Olympics, that are hyperbolic. This is not hyperbole. I'm not Caribbean, but at this point in time, I think both Big League and I are definitely Caribbean adjacent. And being part of the greatest night of athletics in Caribbean history, it will never, ever, ever, ever be topped for me, as far as like in the moment, something awesome, because every part of it was awesome, right? Like, watching the shot putter from the other end, like just intermittently in the mix of us doing our job, like, man, that was pretty cool. Obviously having some rooting interest in the women's triple jump, because I coached in the conference against Thea LaFond, and Jazz competes for Mouse, and and I recruited Ricketts. Like, I was all over the women's triple, and obviously you had to be on a rock to not be excited about the women's 100. And our little Grenadian, who's not really little, fought in there and won the first combined events medal at the games.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, the whole night was surreal. But the weirdest part, the part that will never, ever, ever be erased in my head as a surreal moment, was just being on the bus on the way back.
Yeah.
After drug testing and all those things, right? It's just Olympic gold medalist in the triple, Olympic bronze medalist in the triple, Olympic gold medalist 100. Shot putter wasn't on the bus with us. Olympic bronze medalist decathlon, and both of his coaches, and the women's triple jump gold medalist coach and husband. That was that and the bus driver. That's the bus.
Wow.
And we just had this, holy crap, that was wild. I can't believe we got to be a part of that conversation amongst everybody. Everybody on the bus was part of this conversation. And it was, I mean, borderline surreal, because again, you don't think of yourself in those contexts, right? Like that wasn't part of the mission. But the turnout of it was more than one could ever ask. Watching those tiny countries be celebrated, not just celebrate, right? Like, you know, when you see video of what St. Lucia looked like when Juju won, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But being part of all of that in the moment, and then in the stadium listening to a Caribbean announcer that he was one of the, they had three, and one of them was Caribbean, and he was lauding the special things that were happening that night. And that in and of itself was just amazing. All right. Who's next on the hit brigade?
I'm gonna ask mine.
Okay.
Upset of the year
Mm.
in track and field that you've seen. What is, in
I
your
feel you.
opinion, the
You put a
biggest?
qualifier on that.
Huh?
I'm glad you put a qualifier on that in track and field.
Yes. Biggest upset. Who's gonna go first?
Not me for once.
No, I mean, I'll go first on that one. Biggest upset in track and field
From your that you saw, huh?
No, now it's back to that we saw in person.
No.
No.
From your vantage point.
Oh, listen, I really don't see how, and I'm sure I'm sure the EP will give us some very highbrow analytical field event pose, and rightfully so. But the term the biggest upset was Julian Alfred in the women's 100-meter dash. Like when the season started, no one had that on their board. As the season went on, no one had that on their board. And walking into the Olympics, even though you knew at that point Elaine wasn't there, had that on their board. It wasn't until the semifinal that people even started to consider it. And even after the semifinal, the majority of the planet were like, yeah, so what? We've seen the weird semifinal before. We know what it is.
Yeah.
No. Juju taking control of that moment on that stage against that field, when that was probably the biggest at that moment when they walked out there for the final, like there may not have been a bigger favorite ever. And Juju blew up the entire plan, the entire narrative, the entire media rollout. Like she blew it to smithereens. Biggest upset? Absolutely Julian Alfred.
What say you, Bronco Nation?
I mean, listen, I know people don't pay attention to these things, but I'll just keep it 100. There's not a human being on this planet, including the guy that won, that thought that Marcus Roop was going to win the decathlon at the Olympic Games. He's the first European to win the Olympic title since 2004. Yep. And he's 22 years old. And this is the greatest by score compilation of decathletes ever assembled at one meet. So if you told me 87-94 was going to win, I would have told you it must have rained or we had some sort of crazy weather. If you told me Marcus Ruth was going to win, like had won, I would have told you were a liar or you were reading that wrong, because there's just no way. Not because he's not good, but this was not the year for really good people in the decathlon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to Clyde's point, sure, not everybody was checking for that event. I get it. But part of this show is to enlighten. I mean, listen, you had a 9,000 point guy who's the defending Olympic champion who was in the field. You had the guy who's been the hottest guy in the last 2 years who scored 89, 60 something this year. Well, 24. You had the career peaking Caribbean who has been 87 2 years in a row. Hell, you had his own countryman who had a better season and was hot as fire. Like there's a list of people. Like, Marcus being in the top 6, sure. Not to mention, European Championships happened a month before that, and the guy who won European Championships with a monster PB was in the meet.
So on the educational path, and I don't mean this as a petty question. I want people who don't pay attention to this to understand the difference in the significance. When a massive upset like that happens in the multis, does it shift the business of the multis in any monumental way? Because I feel like it should, but as I sit here, I feel like it didn't. You know what I mean? Is that like of the business the way that it is in the 100 or the 1500?
No, it probably shifted his business slightly. Probably of all the Europeans to win, he probably made out from that the least, because again, forget not being the best European. He was the second best Norwegian in the meet.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like at the end of the day, like it's like, that's what I'm saying about upsets. Like literally he was the second best guy from a country that's never won an Olympic medal in the decathlon.
Yeah.
So, it just goes to show the depth of where the event is. Like I did a governor level deep dive, and the standard for 25 world championships is the 56th best mark in history.
Mm-hmm.
There's only two standards. There's one standard equal to it and one standard that's better than it. And it just, like, that's where we're at. 11 guys have that standard. So only 56 have ever done it in ever, 55. And 11 guys currently have that standard for the world championship.
There you
True.
Mine is the Botswana relay. Like, meaning no one thought it would. That was just that it wasn't supposed to be where it was. Their jerseys, their unis were not supposed to be in that photo. That makes sense. What I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Help me find my words, because I'm at a loss. But so like when you're encapsulating that race,
Mm-hmm.
that color was not supposed to be there. That country wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm not saying that is the upset. What am I trying to say? Golly.
No, you're right, because they definitely took somebody out of the
They knocked
standardized
somebody
cast
out.
of characters out.
So that is my upset.
Okay. Mine is a take your pick. Who can tell me who was supposed to win indoor and outdoor nationals on the men's side?
You're talking about NCAA as a team?
Yes.
On the
Indoors was NAU.
Maybe.
Nope. Not from my standpoint.
I would say
by the dope sheet, it was either NAU or UW. They had the most points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably would have said Arkansas.
Same here.
Sure.
So for me, it's more a situation that for 2024 to come and go and for Arkansas to not have won a national title, indoor and outdoor, in
On the
my
men's side.
opinion, on the men's side, is
Right.
an upset.
Oh yeah,
Without a doubt.
I get that.
I mean, given who's on the roster, I don't disagree.
No.
Can I throw in a
Go ahead.
KOP petty one real quick?
Oh Lord.
The Jamaicans not making the Olympics in the 4x4 on the men's side?
Ooh, we.
Hey,
That
listen.
okay.
Listen.
I mean, listen, nobody had that on their bingo card.
It's not even that. The manner in which it happened.
Twice.
They could literally write a book on what happened from World Relays all the way up until
the Jamaican men not having a presence in the
Yes.
Olympics in the
Yes.
4x4 is the Jerry Jones of track and field this year.
Oh my God.
That is the worst management of anything in track I have seen in an incredibly long time.
Well, look,
man.
we all talked about it in the moment, but nobody's talked about it since. Further along the lines of Jerry Jones management, the field eventers saved Jamaica in general.
Yes, they did.
Oh, 100%.
Because
100%.
they had no presence really on the track.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
If I told you before the year started that the Jamaican women weren't going to win a medal in the 100 or the 200,
Listen,
you would have gave me 10,000 to
not
one
a
odds.
chance. Not a chance.
I don't know if we said this on the show. I feel like I may have, but it's worth repeating. I don't know enough about the Jamaican infrastructure of how they conduct business at the JAAA, right? The minute that the Jamaican men's 4x4 was officially not going to the Olympics, somebody should have been fired. I don't know who the somebody is. I don't know what their role is. I don't know. But if no one got fired over that, that is wild to me.
Yeah.
Heads should have rolled.
I mean, remember, they had a 11th hour attempt that they paid athletes to do this and still didn't get it done.
Nope.
So, yeah, that was pretty relevant. I'll say that. They
could not get their main athletes to get on the track. They couldn't get them on there. It is the wildest thing. All right, what's next?
Chu's gonna have to give hers because I'm gonna be in my next stage of transit at this moment.
Okay.
Yes. So my question is, what is the best NCAA thing that you've seen this year?
Ooh, I'll go.
So nobody steals it. Go for it.
89, 61 or 4 or whatever the hell Leo scored.
Oh man.
Listen, Mouse is always telling me, don't say always, don't say never. And I would say 99.9% of the time, I don't say always and I don't say never. But I will be a completely flabbergasted individual if somebody breaks Leo's decathlon NCAA record in any of our lifetimes. Like, you got to understand, 3 years ago, the collegiate record was Linden's, and it was 85-39. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's now 400 points greater. I don't see it.
For me, it's two things. The final of the women's 400 at the NCAAs and the finals of the women's 4x4. Again, will we ever see anything like that ever again? Will there ever be a collection of athletes at that fitness level ready to compete on that stage at the same time? I mean, it's to this day, it's one of the biggest challenges any college coach has. And dare I say, especially with women, to get them all dialed in, right? Like that was
Dude,
phenomenal.
their slowest 4x4 of the year is faster than 98% of the school records in this country. Like the slowest that they ran all year.
I mean, their fourth girl, the girl that got fourth in NCAA's ran 49.72.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, listen, forget all of that. The time that the Arkansas women posted for the national record is what all time? Fifth? Like all time?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
So here's the crazy part about that, right? Like, obviously, we will all sit here and be like, no, we're never going to see that again. Look at the roster.
We might this coming year.
I guarantee you the coaching staff thinks that they'll break that. So,
Damn.
you know, it's just one of those crazy moments, mind-blowing moments, right? Like, we all knew they were going to win. The question was how fast that they were going to run. I don't think anybody, except maybe the people in their building, thought that they could run that fast. So, you know, props to those girls. I mean, that was, you know, that was jaw-dropping.
So we saw it was the fourth fastest time in history, actually.
Right, there you go.
And the U.S. team at the Olympics ran the second fastest time by 1/10 of a second. So what a year. What a year for the 4x4 all around. Insane.
Right. So now, obviously, my earlier answer would still be my NCAA answer, so I'm gonna have to give, you know, a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, honestly, for me, and a part of this is obviously the very real and obvious emotional attachment to the whole thing, but it was Mackenzie Long.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to point at anything that Parker did, for example, and be like, oh my God, like, of course. But what Mackenzie Long did, the way she did it, carrying the weight of everything that she was carrying in her personal life with her family and the death of her mother and all these things, like, somehow, I think in the moment, everybody, both in real life and in the media life, I think paid the proper respect to how monumental what she was doing was. But somehow between the end of NCAA's, that whole storyline disappeared and it didn't get the proper attention that it deserved, right? Like, that should have been part of the Netflix Sprint thing. Or, with all due respect to the dais, I don't really see how Mackenzie Long didn't belong on the dais at the Bowerman, right? Like, so for me, watching that girl do what she did, and, you know, I mean, you're never going to see a performance like that out of Ole Miss, right? I mean, they won the 4x1 too. You know, everybody forgets. Like, she came out of NCAA's with three golds.
Insane.
Like that was an all-time NCAA performance.
Yes.
And, you know, under the stress that she was under and the weight she was carrying, like, I will forever be a fan of Mackenzie Long. I was well before that, but I will forever be a fan of Mackenzie Long, and I hope people don't, you know, forget that performance moving in the future, because I'm not saying you'll never see it again, but it'll be a long time before you see something like that again.
It's one of the best performances we've ever seen at NCAA. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mine are all taken, so I'm gonna go to a 5B, and that's not really true. But the West prelim women's 100 final, not semifinal, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
That was just
the last race at the West region. Got it.
Yeah.
That was the quarterfinal.
Technically, it's a quarterfinal.
Okay, got it. Yeah. I get confused in the number, but it was hot. It was just
every heat.
That last day.
Golly.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Insane.
just crazy. That was, I mean, I haven't seen as many quote unquote final NCAA finals or prelims races as you all have. So like I'm starting to get my count, my body count up now. Um, but that was sorry.
Wow. Okay.
But um like that one was big. That was like, oh, geez, holy schmoly. So yeah. Sorry.
Hey, newsflash: Oregon just found out the game started. It's 34-8.
Yeah,
Okay.
so crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, this year, every Olympic year, crazy things happen. I get it, but this year was just very busy. There were a
Mhm.
lot of things. Like, you want to know something so crazy? Grant broke a world record indoors in the 60 hurdles, and Juju won the indoor 60. And
Okay.
like, like, like literally in the pantheon of meets that nobody will remember, it was indoor worlds this year
Mhm.
because there were so
It
many
was.
other things. There were so many other things going on.
I don't remember that. I'm not even
Yeah,
gonna lie. I don't remember. Oh
crazy.
man, interesting. That's crazy. Indoor worlds, huh?
Like, do y'all remember all the way back to the beginning of last year's indoor season when we were like, did Dina Asher Smith make a mistake by coming all the way to the U.S. because she went to that meet and pulled up?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like that's how long ago that was. That
Yep.
was part of this season.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Like I remember that indoor meet where Leo and Flo got into it because Flo wanted him to run the 400 indoors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's how long ago that was. That was during this season. There was so much that happened this season.
Well, and we'll let Clyde come back to it. But in the 25 season coming, what do we look forward to the most?
Oh,
Hmm.
All right.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
I'm
Clyde's
back.
ready. Okay.
Uh,
Do you
so
need a second? Do you need a second?
yeah, I did. Year in review, huh? I mean, let's just go with the obvious question. What is the pettiest thing you witnessed in 2024?
oh, I think I have that answer easily. Arkansas's women putting the A team on in the 4x4 indoors at the NCAA meet when they had already won.
And
See
for
what
the
I mean?
record, it does.
That
Yeah,
happened so long ago that people forget that.
Yeah.
Pettiest thing.
I mean, that's pretty petty.
yeah. No, I get that.
Well, did the same thing happen outdoors when that was a meet already won?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. But
they
they were
going
trying to
for a
break the
record.
collegiate record though.
Right.
That was
Okay.
different. Because remember, like, yes, they had the squad to do the collegiate record indoors, right? But remember, their whole roster had the 4-2 double.
Mm-hmm.
And they had already broke it earlier in the year anyway.
Right. And they already owned the record and everybody was exhausted.
Um, from for me, and call it what you want, but putting a high schooler on a 4x4 in the Olympics is one of the pettiest things I've ever seen. And, obviously he had earned that spot and all of that. But I was like, I couldn't believe they actually did it. You know,
An injured high schooler.
An
well,
injured high
I won't
schooler.
go there. I'm not
Oh,
gonna go there.
oh, he was injured.
But that could easily have been one of the greatest mistakes that USA Track and Field has ever made in the history of their existence. And they got through, right? But boy, I mean,
Has Vernon Norwood
gumption.
been awarded his crown yet?
Exactly.
Because listen, if Vernon Norwood didn't get a check or a special gift,
I know, man. They
See,
needed to create a
Norwood
new
that
award.
that's one of those moments we miss, right? Like we were at the annual meeting. At the
Mhm.
annual meeting, somebody at USATF should have presented a cape
something.
to Vernon Norwood. No, I'm being serious. Like he should have
I am
got
too. Something.
a USATF,
Absolutely, man.
emblazoned cape.
Absolutely.
Because
Dazzled
listen, what
with gold plated something. I don't know something.
we don't have the kind of sport where it happens, right? Like you can play hoop out of your mind for a night. You can have the crazy one game in football.
Mm-hmm.
Track is not that,
Nope.
right? You are who you are, and for the most part, like within 1 or 2%, we know who you're gonna be on the day. This man showed up to the meet not once, not twice, but 3 times. Like, let me take these glasses off and take my suit off and
Yep.
put my cape back
Let me
on
put
and
my
show
cape
y'all.
back on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just like he saved the United States relay contingents
Mm-hmm.
over and over.
Yeah, he did.
No, listen, and I don't mean this in any kind of petty way at all. Like, it's hard to understate the respect that I have for Vernon Norwood and his Paris performances. I'll just put
For
it
sure.
all the way through, right? Vernon Norwood's Paris performances are the best and probably will always be the best possible example of why relay bandits are important.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You understand? And that term usually has a negative connotation or a petty connotation. In this case, it absolutely doesn't. Like,
No.
Vernon is what, 32 now?
Mm-hmm.
It is unlikely that you'll ever see Vernon Norwood with an individual medal. But he absolutely saved the entire country and reputation of our country with his performances repeatedly in Paris.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
And if you have people like that on your team at the high school level, at the college level, at the professional level, like they are inherently valuable.
Yeah.
Like, listen, relay bandits are important.
Yeah.
Like, so if you have an all-time one, like they should create some kind of award and give it out to the best relay man or woman every year. It should be named after Vernon Norwood.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of Tanja telling me about her third leg on that NCAA championship 4x1 she had at Illinois on the men's side. This is when she had Andrew Riley.
Mm-hmm.
She said this kid couldn't run 10.8 to save his life, but put him on third leg.
Yeah.
And he just got it done. And you can't put a price on individuals like that. You can't.
Listen,
You know?
we all know Daryl Williamson was never going to win a medal openly in court. But
There you
I'm
go.
telling you this right
There you
now. This is how long the conversation went as to who's anchoring the U.S. Olympic 4x4.
Yeah.
Him or Jeremy Warner, who won the gold medal. It took this long.
Yeah.
Jeremy's like, I'm running third.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna say Jeremy knew. He's like, no.
This is what's going to happen. Yep.
There are people who do heroic things on relays,
Mhm.
and there is no explaining it or quantifying it or whatever.
Nope.
But I think we should actually champion this cause. We should get the USATF Relay Bandit of the Year award sanctioned, and it should be named the Vernon Norwood,
The Vernon Norwood
Relay
Relay
Bandit
Award
of the Year for sure.
That's funny.
Oh
Listen.
man.
Somebody help the show out. Tell us where we can get a cape made. We will get a cape and made and send it to Vernon. That's how much respect we have for his caping.
Man, listen.
What was your question, Big League?
It wasn't
It was my question, and it
No,
was
no. She asked the question while you were in transit.
Oh,
Oh, what are we looking forward to in 25 in regards
Okay,
to
I just wanted
wait.
to keep it in the back of my head.
okay. So wait, do I have to now answer this question?
Yes.
Yes, but I'll buy you a second because I have one. My most petty moment visually seen was Shelly Ann not running.
Oh, absolutely. The way
Because we were there.
the way she dissed homeboy that was calling the
Right?
the guy
Like,
on the
it just-
mic is like Fraser
But, like,
Price.
because we were there and we knew what it took to get there and we knew what the path was, and we actually knew what it could take for her. And I don't mean this in a negative way, I'm just stating facts. Like, we knew that she could run.
Like
she-
not necessarily could run at her best, but she
Yeah,
could put one
she
foot in
could
front of the
run.
other and compete.
And so, I mean, she just said, "Nah, I'm good.
She's like, I'm good. I got a bunch of them
I'll
medals.
be all right." And so
she does have a bunch of them.
So she's like, "Yeah, no."
Hilarious.
If
So-
you've seen the Sprint documentary, right? Like the guy is literally, it's like last call, Shelly Ann Fraser Price, and she is walking right towards like where you go in and just walk straight, like I'm out.
Oh no, she was very unbothered in that moment.
Yeah,
My man was just looking at her like,
what are you doing?
yeah. So that's why,
I'm
like,
I'm over here.
just that's in the non-athletic petty of petty in my head.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a
That was a
good
good
one.
one, Big League. Big League is
That was
on
very
fire
good.
in 25,
That was
y'all.
very good.
She's on fire
So-
in 25.
So I have two. Neither are in the track space. One is positively petty, which I think you will all appreciate. On the positively petty, the thing that I have absolutely considered the ultimately positively petty thing in sports in 2024 is Saquon Barkley, and I will leave it at that.
Okay, really? All right.
Yes.
Hey, just so the rest of the nation knows, if Clyde is on the show next week, it's because I couldn't get a flight to California.
That entire saga is
man.
one of the pettiest things in sports you will ever see. And I am so here for it, and I love it.
Nothing makes it worse than the fact that we were on Hard Knocks in season prior, like during spring training or whatever it's called, right? During camp. And our general manager is on record as saying,
yes,
like, you're not going to pay the quarterback $40 million and to hand the ball off to the guy that makes $20 million.
Yep.
Right. This is Daniel's team. This is Daniel's time. I think that's almost word for word what he said. And in your mind, you know he's thinking, I mean, what's he going to do? Go run for 2,000 yards? Yes, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Across the street for free.
What's worse is if the Eagles decide to be petty enough to put their first string offensive line on the field and attempt to run 110 yards or whatever the hell he needs and breaks Eric Dickerson's friggin' NFL record just because, and of course, who are they playing? The Giants.
Listen, the culmination of it is perfect, because if you want to get into sports nerdiness of it, right? Either way, it's epically hilarious. The obvious is, throw him out there, go break the record. He'll clearly get 102 yards. Hell, he'll do it in the first half, right? And that's great. Here's the best case scenario, and I promise you, if I prayed, I would pray for this.
I'm gonna punch you. I already know what you're gonna say.
They need to roll him out there, get the 100 and whatever yards they need, and then lose the game. Because if they lose the game, it screws the Giants for the draft even more than they already screwed themselves by winning the game last week. Like, if you could somehow do both, get the 102 yards and not score or some shit like that, like, please do that. Like, I am so here for that. Now,
so there's been an update on that. And he is not going to play.
Saquon's not playing. And the reason he's not playing is because of the first thing I said. It's only because in order for them to actually do it, because these people are all professionals, they'd have to play all of their offensive linemen.
Yeah, they would.
Right? Yeah. That's the only reason they're not going to do it. It's because they don't want to get any of them hurt.
Well, like I said,
Mhm.
it's worse for the Giants if the Giants win the game.
Trust me. I was so mad last week. I think the people in the sports bar I was in thought I was having an aneurysm.
Oh man.
Now, not to bring the mood down,
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
but the absolute epitome, like the most pettiest possible thing that we all witnessed, and it's not a good thing, is obviously the election of Donald Trump. That is
Oh, my
America at its absolute pettiest, and you're gonna get exactly what you asked for.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with that one. But it's crazy because the only solace that all I keep hearing people say is like, when it goes bad, just be like, well, I didn't vote for him. I'm like, okay,
No. That's not a thing.
it's not a thing. First of all, because secondly, half the people that are gonna say that are lying because they did,
Right.
or worse, they didn't vote at all.
Right.
So, anyway.
But no, hey, go ahead with your FAFO. I'm here for the FAFO. Great. Yay, USA. Great job.
That one.
Gee,
That one's
thanks.
awful.
Thanks, Clyde. I appreciate
So,
that.
lifting it back up, what is one thing that you look forward to in 2025? Whether it's track related, personally, or something, what is one thing that you look forward to in 25?
The FAFO.
Oh my gosh.
I'm here for the FAFO.
I will say I'll go first on the track. What I'm looking forward to most in 2025, I'm not even going to take the petty things that I know Clyde is ready for that can happen with Grand Slam track. I just look at it like this. This popped up on my phone the other day, and I screenshotted it because I keep looking at it. And I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. I'm waiting to see this in 2025 without the pressure of the Olympics, but still having the excitement of World Championships. What that crazy group of 5 guys in the men's 800 actually does. Because, listen, if I told you that 141 was all time, you would not believe me. But that is where we're at. And there are 5 current 145 guys running. Right? Like Bryce Hoppel ran 141 and didn't get a medal.
Yep.
So
that was just mean.
I am excited to see what happens in that event because, look, sometimes things happen and you're like, that's not a time. If somebody runs 139, I'm just going to walk out the stadium. Right? Like, I don't think it's going to go that fast, but, like, honestly, obviously it could, right? There's got 5 guys that run 141 and none of them are old.
Right.
Or like at its max. Like there's still stuff.
And it's easier, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. It's easier to perform in a world championship year than in an Olympic year by far. So they're all in shape. Hopefully they all stay healthy. Absolutely crazy things can and will happen. Personally, I just I don't know about anybody else. I'm not one of those new year, new me kind of people. I'm going to demand of myself 2024 was a really good year for me. And I think a lot of times people, they stand at the end of the year and they say, oh, I can't wait till 24 is over. I can't, it could, because they have recency bias. They forget good things that happened to them during the year. And I won't lie, the last 2 days of 2024 weren't great, but probably 300 of the 365 were pretty darn good for me and in 2024. I'm just looking forward to, and I'm going to demand of myself in 2025 to build off the momentum that was created in 2024. So we're going to be better in 25 across the board.
No, okay. So I'll give y'all real ones. So I am absolutely here for the FAFO, but not just in the realm of American political discourse. Like I'm generally and genuinely here for the FAFO as it pertains to this new reality that we are all facing in track and field at the NCAA level. Like the types of conversations that people are having, even amongst our LLC chat. Like, I really don't think that people are putting proper gravity towards the new reality that we are facing. like when I see people like celebrating that their reality hasn't changed, as if that's enough or a good thing, when there are going to be programs with 35 and 45 scholarships. Like, I don't think people are paying enough attention or respect to how big of a shift that is. Like, even at the top level, if you were in, you know, those people who care about working in the P4, right? And that's the majority of our profession, right? Everybody's always clawing to get to the top jobs in the profession, right? Now, even within the P4, there is a split between the level of jobs and what they mean now.
There are tiers within the P4 that
Mhm.
never were really before.
Yes.
And either I feel like either people are obtuse about it, or so scared of that reality that they're pretending that it doesn't exist. Like, oh, it's okay. My school's gonna be fine because we got 20. 20? How you gonna compete with the 40? Like, I'm here for witnessing whatever the fallout of all of this is. And yes, my petty instincts play a lot into that. When you don't have any power to change it, you just got to sit back and witness it and watch it go, right? And so I am very, very intrigued by all of that, because what it's gonna, at bare minimum, what it's gonna expose and what it's gonna highlight the people who are in bad situations. It's gonna highlight how good of coaches those people really are. And for people who are in privileged positions, it might expose how lame or subpar people really are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm here for all of it, and no one knows how it's going to play, but I'm just here for that. So that's a big thing I'm looking forward to, even though that's kind of a gloomy outlook. I'm also here for whatever the new reality is at the pro scene. This new schedule, this new calendar is a monumental shift in our business. And I don't know what it means. We all have our prognostications, right? But whatever it means, it's going to be interesting to watch. So I like change. I'm here for those things. On a personal level, I mean, man, I just, I kind of to the EP's point. I'm trying to find a way to elevate what I do, but that's always my game, right? Like, I'm always, you guys have heard me say, you gotta fight to live in a constant state of evolution. So I'm trying to figure out an angle and a way to be better at what we do than we were a year ago. And hopefully we can pull that off, and hopefully I can continue to get better at my profession and continue to learn and elevate fatherhood and partnerships and all of those things. Like, I just want to be a better version of me.
Amen.
Good stuff. Yeah, you took the major one that I was thinking, and that was um just looking forward to, because we're at a crossroads now, especially at the higher level in our sport, where there are smaller institutions, lesser schools that, that aren't fighting for national championships, or, you know, are trying to win conference titles, stuff like that, that have athletes that are world class. And I think there's more of that going on now in our sport, where it might be one. You might we call it the pyramid effect, where you've got, your everyday athletes and all of that. And all of that at the top is that one shining beacon of light that you have. And if that athlete qualifies for the world championships, he or she has a very long road ahead. A very long road ahead. And So I'm looking forward to seeing how coaches, how programs, how, athletes themselves are able to navigate their way through indoor, outdoor, summer season, world championships. If at all. It's this curveball that's been thrown at us um is going to be very, very challenging. And, some programs may decide, you know what, we're not going down that road. And then others that have the resources and coaches that are willing to stick it out for 10 months, they'll give it a shot, So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
The 9 month
Um,
competitive calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to see how the calendar specifically plays out. That's where I was going to go with it is, there's some adjustments. We already know of some federations making some adjustments with stuff. And so how that goes into it and then what comes out of it. I am for change. I'm just hoping that change can be beneficial and stay beneficial and not detrimental and cutting things off unnecessarily. Personally, I'm just excited because I've got some pretty sparkly new toys right now, and I just want to play with them. So I want the play season to start
Yeah.
because this stuff is sitting on my hands is getting real tiring right now. So
Well, to that note, on a personal level, um, I am looking forward to preparing myself for whatever.
yeah.
I think, to Clyde's point, we are at a tipping point. Sam Seams has made it clear,
Mhm.
where track and field is on the grand scope of things. But if there's a message to any NCAA coach, D1, D2, junior college, the skills that we possess will make us successful in no matter what we do. And it's something that's lost, I feel, because you can get sucked into the mindset that this is all you can do. And that's not the case.
Mm-mm.
Bronco Nation is proof right now, So I almost feel sorry for the rest of the world if we are unleashed on the rest of the world because, what we do on a daily basis is in a lot of ways, you can't pay for it. You can't pay for
Mm-mm.
what we do,
Mm-mm.
you know, um, especially with the lack of resources that the majority of us have, So going out into something else, as scary as that may be, or whatever, um, I think that we will adjust, and that is my optimism, eternal optimism about the people that I know in this profession that you know, bust their butts every single day and are passionate about what they do. I think that will translate into whatever else comes. It is a very helpless position to be in, and you can either stay in the doldrums and feel like, or go out there on the track and project hopelessness upon your kids, or you can be optimistic, you can continue to do your job and but at the same time be prepared for whatever comes our way.
And that's
Yeah.
why the governor closed.
I know. Like that's it. That was done.
I, yeah, no question about it. I'm interested to see this roster stuff. That's gonna be fun, popcorn
Mhm.
worthy. When some team is in a conference where they only have 8 or 10 men on the cross country roster and they get a couple injuries and then they have to go to the conference meet and can't compete because they can't field 5.
Mhm.
I don't wish that on anybody, but it's like, I mean, these are realities that you have to actually prepare for, coach around, right? All these contingencies that will go with roster management. Roster management is going to be harder, I think, to deal with than money management. You either got money or you don't. But how you spend the money and how you fill out your roster and manage the people on your roster is going to take skill, and that's going to be very interesting. Well, what we got, Big League? Is that the show?
That's it. That's it. On that note, let's wrap it up because 2025 is here. We are ready to stomp it down week by week, and before we know it, we'll be doing a wrap up of 2025, and that would be crazy.
Yep.
Literally.
We're just having way too much fun. That's what it is.
I know, right? So, well, everyone have a great first week of 2025. I know most of us are getting ready to travel, not necessarily traveling yet. So, here's to ordering meals, getting hotel rooms, buses showing up on time, and praise Jesus for weather that doesn't
Driving
inhibit us.
vans.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I didn't even want to bring that one up, but yes. Oh, the van life.
Loading up poles.
I was just going to say those dang poles.
You ain't got to worry about the polls if you don't recruit no vultures.
It's that simple.
Yeah, so I want to send a personal shout out to all those coaches out there who have to deal with pole vault poles during the course of the year. May the airlines be kind to you. May it not be too lonely traveling with just the two pole vaulters on a whole nother airline than the whole rest of the team.
No.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
No one handles that better than Iggy out at Stanford and his Pole Chronicles documentaries every year.
Oh man.
Yes.
That is easily one of the best things on Instagram every year are the Pole Chronicles from Stanford.
Yeah.
Get into that. But hey, listen, we all got to make choices, right?
I know.
Our new realities, we don't do nothing with poles. And currently, unfortunately, we don't even have any throwers. So no more getting up at the crack of dawn for any of this.
Oh man.
It is what it is.
Oh God.
If y'all looking for Clyde, he will show up to the meet at 12:04.
Right.
Indeed. Amen.
Warm up for the 4x1.
All right, everyone. Well, enjoy yourselves, be safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.